Now try to recollect our radiation part. We discussed that there are various radiations, but I have to give idea here once again, because I must explain here what is the meaning of long radiation and short radiation. Almost I am revising this twice or thrice. This is energy diagram. So energy axis, highest energy radiations, here we are giving what is known, that is gamma rays, then X-rays, then vacuum ultraviolet, then ultraviolet, then violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So this range we are calling as VIBGYOR, that is visible range. Then onwards infrared, far infrared, microwave and radio waves. I hope this chart we discuss in physics, basic physics, and in geography also we discuss this chart. Here till red, whatever radiations are here, we are calling this as short radiations. They are ultra short, but here I am simply calling these as short radiation. Whereas these radiations, they are called as long radiations. Now, incident radiation, that is, sun is giving us energy. That radiation, gamma rays, are given by sun. But you are aware the range of gamma rays is very, very less. They are absorbed in upper parts of atmosphere only. X-rays are also given by sun. But again, same record, that range of X-rays very, very less, so they are also absorbed in upper parts of atmosphere. Vacuum ultraviolet, as name indicate, they have existence only in vacuum. The moment they enter in atmosphere, they get absorbed by atmosphere, so they are also absorbed by upper part of atmosphere. Then ultraviolet radiation, you are aware now that all ultraviolet radiations are not absorbed by ozone layer. It is wrongly said that ozone layer absorb ultraviolet radiation. A part of ultraviolet radiation which is harmful for life, that is absorbed by ozone. Otherwise, ultraviolet radiations are coming directly on surface of earth. What is the best evidence or example I can give here? That D vitamin, that is synthesized by our skin from morning sunlight, and there we discussed that morning sunlight is having ultraviolet radiations that is required for synthesis of D vitamin. That means ultraviolet radiations are coming on surface of earth. You can check out if you are having fluorescent dye, that means suppose t-shirt is having fluorescent color, or some bands are there, they are giving you fluorescent color. Even paintings, they are made in fluorescent color. If that fluorescent color is there, it is appearing more bright, that means there is presence of ultraviolet radiation. If ultraviolet radiations are absent, then fluorescent color will not appear fluorescent. So in which light fluorescent color appear more fluorescent, that is consisting of ultraviolet light. So our spectrum, or whatever the sunlight is there on surface of earth, part of ultraviolet is absorbed by ozone layer. Not all ultraviolets are absorbed by ozone layer. Again, in chemistry you must have come across some reaction, that is methane reacting with chlorine gas in presence of diffuse sunlight. Why diffuse sunlight? Because in diffuse sunlight ultraviolet radiations are there. That means ultraviolet radiations are present on surface of earth. Sun is giving that also. Then visible radiations. Visible radiations are very little bit absorbed by atmosphere. Maximum visible radiations are coming to surface of earth directly. Evidence, we can observe this universe from our earth, that we are able to observe sun, moon. That means what radiations are reflected or given out by these celestial bodies, they are reaching to surface of earth. That means they are not absorbed or very rarely absorbed by surface of, by atmosphere. That means only these initial radiations are absorbed, then onwards radiations are simply transmitted. But the surface of earth, that absorbs all these radiations. Whatever the incident radiations are there, whatever radiations reaching on surface of earth, they are absorbed by surface of earth. No doubt, part of that radiation also reflected back by earth, but a maximum part of that radiations are absorbed. As a result, surface of earth is getting hot. hot bodies are radiating heat. This is called as radiant heat or radiation given out by surface. Maybe surface is covered by ice, maybe surface is covered by water. You may say, why surface is covered by ice will give out heat? Keep in mind, temperature of ice may be minus 30 degrees Celsius, minus 40 degrees Celsius. What is the coolest place on surface of earth? That is Antarctica, particularly South Pole of which is located at altitude of around 3000 meters. That is the coolest place on surface of earth. Gives minimum temperature minus 89 degrees Celsius approximately. Now, what is the minimum temperature in universe possible? That is minus 273 point something. That is 15 and remaining numbers are there. We can consider here minus 273 degrees Celsius. So, minus 273 degrees Celsius is called as absolute zero. Below that temperature one can't go. And so, with reference to that, ice or say minus 30 degree, minus 40 degree temperature, that is actually hot. And that's why even ice is considered as hot body. It is also radiating energy. These radiations are in form of infrared light. And that's why, if you are aware, thermal cameras or thermal sensor camera, they are working, particularly we are calling this as night vision camera. So in night vision camera, there is no light, but still we can carry out imaging with help of this type of heat or thermal sensors. So here that thermal sensor or whatever that is radiating, that object, every object, if its temperature is greater than minus 273 degrees Celsius, then it emits infrared radiation. Now in our geography, we are calling this part as long radiation. So surface is absorbing short radiation and radiating long radiations. Now long radiations are absorbed by atmosphere, particularly carbon dioxide, methane and water vapors. They are absorbing long radiations. As a result, the gases near surface of earth start out heating. And that's why in atmosphere, as we are approaching to the surface of earth, temperature is more. As we are moving to a higher altitude, then temperature decreases. Try to recollect, we call this as lapse rate. In troposphere, this lapse rate is around 160 meter. If you move, then temperature falls by 1 degree Celsius. So around 160, 165 meter, 1 degree loss of temperature is observed. This is called as lapse rate. So it is present in troposphere. So troposphere is you are aware now, it is just adjacent part of surface till 8 kilometer on polar region and 16 kilometer in equatorial region. This is there. This is called as troposphere. Here we are getting this type of reflection, the heating effect, that as we are moving higher altitude, temperature falls. And that's why this is important factor in determining temperature. If particular location is at higher altitude, we will get less temperature. If we are at sea level, then temperature is obviously more, because sea level, that is we are considering as level to measure out. Now apart from that, it depends upon another factor. We are calling that as continental effect or maritime effect. Two names are there, simultaneously we have to discuss, but for that purpose I have to discuss another concept that is called as specific heat. Obviously this all part is related with science. No doubt I am teaching here geography, but all these parts, they are there related with science, particularly physics. Specific heat is heat required to rise temperature of substance by 1 degree Celsius. Alright, just simple definition. Specific heat is heat required to rise temperature of surface by 1 degree Celsius. Now if specific heat, I have to define more clearly, then the definition is, it is heat required to rise temperature by 1 degree Celsius from 14.5 to 15.5 degrees Celsius. This particular range they are considering. For water, specific heat is very high. It is 1 gram, it it is 1 calorie per gram or 1 kilocalorie per kilogram. For other substances, usually specific heat is less. Metals, specific heat is still less. What is the meaning of that? If I am supplying 1 kilocalorie energy to 1 kilogram water, then temperature of water will rise by 1 degree Celsius. Suppose a metal is there which is having specific heat 0.3 kilocalorie per kilogram. That means I am supplying 1 kilocalorie heat, then its temperature will rise by nearly 3 degrees Celsius. And so by giving little bit heat, rise in temperature will be more. Now in case of land, which is consisting of sand, soil, rock part, generally all these objects are having specific heat less than 1 degree Celsius, 1 kilocalorie per kilogram. So we are getting same quantity of heat on land as well as water. Water will take more time to get temperature high, but land will get hot fast. This is a scientific reason why land get hot fast than water. Now suppose you are there around water body, or water is there around you. For example, where we are staying, I am staying in Mumbai. Mumbai is surrounded by water. What is the impact of that? Water is taking more heat and more time to get temperature rise, and that's why in daytime water is not getting hot fast, and so daytime there is no much rise in temperature. Don't say there is no rise in temperature, but suppose I am comparing Mumbai and Delhi, then obviously the daytime temperature of Delhi should be more, or rather I should consider Nagpur rather than Delhi. What is the reason behind that? That Delhi is having towards temperate zone. Nagpur is there in tropical zone and around same latitude. Around, I am not saying on same latitude. Now Nagpur is having same temperature supposed to be, but no, it is heated because it is surrounded by land only, and so specific heat of land is less, so it is heated fast. You can check out during summer period that Nagpur can have temperature easily more than 40 degrees Celsius. But Mumbai, not easily 40 degrees Celsius. Very hot summer in Mumbai may have temperature around 38 degrees Celsius during daytime. During night time, land is losing out heat fast because specific heat is less. So more heat is lost during night and landmass get cooled down fastly. Whereas water will take more time to get cooled down, and that's why water, if surrounded your city or place is surrounded by water, then night time you are not getting much fall in temperature. So in case of Mumbai, in summer, if maximum temperature is around 38 degrees Celsius, then minimum temperature is around 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. It is not that maximum temperature 38 and minimum temperature of day will be 10. No. But these cases are observed particularly if you are there inside the continent. So where is the location? If you are there away from water body, then we are calling this as continental effect. So Nagpur is having very high temperature during summer. The reason is that is because of continental effect. One of the reason is there continental effect. Whereas in case of Mumbai, we are having almost similar temperature, not much rise in temperature. That is because we are calling as maritime effect. Converse is also there. In winter season, check out temperature of Nagpur, it is very cold. But check out temperature of Mumbai, it will never go below 10 degrees Celsius. Only in 50 years, past 50 years, once it falls till 8.5 degrees Celsius. We are calling this as very cold winter in Mumbai. But otherwise, average temperature in winter is around 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. If temperature goes below 12 degrees Celsius, we are calling that Mumbai is suffering cold. This is the case. So this is the effect of water. We are calling this as maritime effect. So these two effects, they are also there for this water. Now, Uh, temperature depends on albedo also. If albedo is more, temperature should be less. If albedo is less, then temperature should be more. Say for example, snow. If it is fresh, then fresh snow reflects almost 90% radiation. So whatever incident radiations are there, 90% radiations are reflected by snow. Whereas it depends on angle also. Angle means incidence angle, this angle. If this angle is less than 75 degree, then albedo is more. If this angle is either 90 degree or near 90 degree, another concept we are using, perpendicular and near perpendicular, or 90 degree and near 90 degree, then reflected amount of light is less. Check out. This is the zone. Suppose I am saying light is coming in this way. This distance, suppose say 2 centimeter distance is there. This is the surface. Let's check out. You will get here wider surface. This same beam is falling on wider surface, and that wider surface that is reflecting out light. Now suppose radiations are perpendicular. I am keeping same distance over here around. Check out here, the surface getting is very less, and so we are getting more reflection over slanted angle and less reflection if near perpendicular or perpendicular is there. Now dry sand surface, that gives albedo amounting to 35 to 45%. That means in desert we are getting more light is absorbed and temperature rises. That is there. Whereas dark moist soil, that means regur soil we can consider, that reflects only about 15% light. That means 85% light is absorbed, albedo is just 15%. Even if forests are there, you are aware deciduous forest, where leaves of that trees are large, they are absorbing maximum light, and at that time albedo is just 5 to 10%. Whereas in case of conifers, conifer means needle shaped leaves are there, then albedo is in range of 10 to 20%. Albedo means reflected light. So reflected light depends upon nature of forest, nature of leaves. But grasslands are there, then grassland can reflect around 15 to 20% light back. So it depends what is the nature of a part. Say for example, it is covered by grass, it is having deciduous forest, it is having conifers. Depending upon that, reflection is there. If bare land is there, then what is the type, that is sand is there or black soil is there, depending upon albedo is there.